Hello,
Hello, good morning, sir.
good morning.
Good.
Uh, Amen. Yeah, most welcome too. I'm of the view we should start our lecture being the first class that we have so that we can be able to finish reasonable time because I still have other online lectures and the physical class in VI. Thanks for choosing Equity Professional as your choice center for this diet. I pray each and every one of you will be successful in all your endeavors. This forthcoming May diet exam, your success in the forthcoming exam will be remarkable. God will crown your effort with success. So you are most welcome. My name is Mr. Ali Adewale Ismail. Anchoring this particular course with Mrs. Christina, which I believe had a little lecture with you last weekend. So due to inevitability, she's not available this morning. That's the reason why I'm standing. If not, I will have been in position to lecture you tomorrow. So let's start our lecture. Can we start our lecture, please? Hello?
Yes, sir. Carry on.
Okay. So we have seen the slide that I've shared. That's going to be our main materials for today's lecture. So it was titled Strategy, Stakeholders, and Mission. So we are going to look at an overview of what strategy is all about. At the same time, within the limited time, we are going to discuss on stakeholders, and we round it off by looking at the mission and vision statements. By the special grace of God, I will simplify it and bring it down to your level, so it will look like A for ample. So that in the forthcoming exam, it will be easier when we have any question that comes out on this particular topic, can be able to do justice to it and excel. The first to start with is strategy. Let's look at the overview of strategy, the meaning of strategy, and what I can normally ask when it comes to this particular definition of strategy. So, as we can see in our slide, that strategy can be defined as the integration of the organization activities and allocation of resources to achieve the company objectives and goals. So, by that, we mean that strategy, you must know that strategy involve the setting of long-term goals. That is what differentiates it from tactics. So strategy focus mainly on long-term goals. And the ongoing definition says strategy is all about integrating organization activities. So that implies that strategy involve a collection of activities. It requires synergy, not just one singular activities. Integrating organization activities like supply chain planning, forecasting, allocation of resources, evaluation of the strategy. So many things are involved when we talk of strategy. So we are integrating these organizational activities for us to also achieve our future goals. But these future goals cannot be easily achieved in the definition we are looking at without allocation and utilization of scarce resources. So when we integrate our organization activities, we must ensure that there is a proper allocation of the resources of the organization. And when these resources are allocated, they must be effectively utilized because the resources are not abundant. No individual and government across the whole world have resources sufficient. I think when we have sufficient resources in Nigeria, Nigerian government will have been borrowing money from IMF or UNICEF and what have you. So company resources too are limited in supply. And these resources that we are talking about comprises of manpower, material resources, machines, methodology, money, time, and information. All these resources must be effectively utilized, and we pay attention to dynamism of the business environment. so that the company can achieve their predetermined goals and objectives. So at the same time, we have is that strategy involve environmental scanning. When you are setting long-term goals and objectives, the company must be sensitive to the environment. We must do a continuous analysis of our business environment, continuous analysis of our competitors, continuous analysis of our customers. That's the essence of studying consumer behaviors. Our employees, suppliers, including the government and the financial institutions, we must pay attention to all these stakeholders for easy achievement of our strategic objectives. So I hope that definition is understood. So when you go to the third paragraph, we have it under the overview of strategic decision definitions. That strategy is the blueprint of decision of the organization. So we call it a blueprint because it is all encompassing. It is this strategy that all other major objective, policy of the company, principle of the companies will revolve around. So strategy is the blueprint. It will create a pathway for all other major objective policy goals to be achieved. So when we say strategy is the blueprint, that means strategy comprises of the mission and the vision statement that the company intends to achieve. And it is always tailored towards the achievement of expectations of the stakeholders. So the definition that was penciled in purple, I want you to really pay attention to this definition. And the very reason why I give it is separate ink, because this particular definition, ICAN normally asks of this definition in exam. At times it attracts 7 marks, at times it attracts 5 marks. There are instances it attracted more than 5 or 7 marks. And I was being asked, how can we ask you that you should define strategy in accordance to Chandler definition? So once you have defined strategy in accordance with Chandler definition, then this is the definition you are going to use. And how come ICANN is so much particular about this definition? It's because the definitions says a lot about the word strategy. Because the definition give us some essential key evidence and explanation of what strategy is all about. Because the Chandler definition is universally acceptable across the world as one of the major definition of strategy that pinpoints to what strategy really stands for. So let's now look at the definition of Chandler. According to Chandler, strategy is defined as the determination of the basic long-term goals and objective of the company, with allocation of resources that are necessary to achieve the goals within the stipulated period. So when you look at this definition, it still contains some of the essential elements of strategy that we have mentioned above. But the Chandler definition tells us that strategy is a formal process. Strategy is objective. Strategy focuses mainly on the determination of the long-term goals of the company. That informs you that strategy is futuristic. It does not based on the present objective of the company that they want to achieve, but is centered majorly on setting a long-term goals. And the definition, Chandler informs us that it is one thing to set a long-term goals. It is another for us to create an enabling environment for all these goals and objectives to be achieved. So he said it is the determination of the long-term goals and allocation of resources. Those resources that are mentioned and those ones that are not mentioned must be effectively allocated and utilized. The manpower, the material, the methodology, machine, money, information, and time. All these things must be deployed towards the achievement of the long-term goals. Chandler equally says that we have to pay attention to the business environment. We have to pay attention to the government policy. We have to pay attention to activities of the competitors, our vendors, and the rest. That it is only when companies do this that they can be able to achieve their goals. So that is Chandler's definition of strategy. According to Peter Drucker, that's another definition. Peter Drucker defines strategy as the direction and scope of organization over a long time. You can see all these definitions emphasize on long time, informing you that strategy span from the period of 5 years and above. If it is 1 to 2 years, we call it short time goals. 2 to 3 years, that is medium time goals. 5 years and above, that is strategy. So Peter Drucker says strategy is the direction and scope of organization over a long time period, meaning that the strategy involves the operational activities of the company, all their goals and objectives to be achieved in the future. That's the reason why we say the long time there. So that strategy takes you that once you set a strategy and you integrate all the scope and functional activities of the company, it will give the company competitive advantage in a changing business environment. So Peter Drucker, to cap it up, stated that strategy is defined as the direction and scope of the organization over a long time period, which gives the company opportunity to achieve advantage in a changing environment through the configuration of resources and competency. So if you are summarizing this definition, so what you have to say is that Peter Drucker's definition stated that strategy is all about the direction, strategy is all about the direction and scope of the organization over a long period of time in a changing environment with allocation of resources and competency to achieve stated goals. That's the best way to summarize Peter Drucker's definition. And we can see in that definition too, we said strategy comprised of the organization scope, direction of scope, that is the area, the pathway of the activities of the company. At the same time, the strategy is long time in nature. Strategy gives us opportunity to achieve competitive advantage in a changing environment. That changing environment, you can as well call it a dynamic environment. And Peter said, through the configuration of resources. Configuration of resources is still the same thing as allocation and utilization of the resources and competency of the company to meet the shareholders' expectations. Because the shareholders' expectations varies, the stakeholders' expectation varies. So once we integrate our scope, we allocate resources, we pay attention to the changing business environment, it will be easier for the company to achieve the shareholders and the stakeholders' expectations. So in another perspective, we have the definition of strategy given by Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington, JS and W. Take note of that. You can see that I abbreviated JS and W because in exam conditions too, ICAN in most times might tell you that define so or discuss on the element of strategy according to JS and W. That JS and W means Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington. The Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington discuss on six general areas of strategy that are highly significant for scholars, organizations, entrepreneurs, students alike, and corporate entities to know. That once you know these six general strategic and important areas, then it will be very easier for you to know the significance of strategy and how you can formulate effective and functional strategy. So according to Johnson and Scholes, the six general areas of strategy are: one, strategy is long time in nature. So meaning that strategy does not focus on achievement of goals within 1 to 2 years or 3 years. So strategy focus on achieving future goals. And the essence of this is that it will give the company sustainable plans. It will give opportunity for the company to create a pathway towards achieving future goals and remain in business for a long period of time. So strategy is long-term in nature. Two, strategy comprises of organizational scope. Anytime we talk of the scope of organizational activities means that the strategy comprises of so many roles, responsibilities, and purpose that are being performed across all the three functional areas. So it is not just limited to uh, a specific activities that one department perform. No, strategy is all encompassing, and that's the reason why we said it have so many scope of activities. Number three things is that strategy give company competitive advantage. You can see that in green pencil. Got all the basic things that will simplify your reading that you have to take notes. I've assisted you in putting it in ink pen. So strategy give company competitive advantage, meaning that any company that plans, any company that put in place future goals, such companies stand to gain competitive advantage over all others competitors. Because by the time you plan, you formulate strategy, you implement the strategy, you evaluate the strategy, we control the strategy, and we pay attention to the dynamism of the business environment, competitors, government, policy, then automatically our company stand to gain tremendous competitive advantage over others companies that were in the same industry. So according to Johnson and Scholes, number 14 that they say is important about strategy is adaptability. A company must be able to adapt their products, services, operational activities to dynamism of customers' perceptions. The customers' perceptions, the customer taste can change over time. Our stakeholders' expectations too is not static, it can change over time. The business environment can be friendly today, tomorrow it can be hostile. So we have to ensure that we change our business activities, we adapt, we do environmental scanning to identify all these changes so that it will not affect our business. At the same time, number five, the scholars stated that strategy require exploitation of unique resources. Apart from the resources that the company have at their disposals, we must ensure that the company do deliberate opportunity identification to see other new opportunities in the market, new opportunities in a business environment that they can exploit to increase their profitability, market dominance, competitive strength, and satisfy their customers. So the last one is that strategy involve value creation. It involves the creation of values in order to increase the perceptions of the customers, in order to meet the expectations and create favorable satisfaction to both the shareholders, stakeholders, and all our customers, including investors. So these are the key things that Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington stated that we must take notes about strategy. So having looked at that, we briefly look at the characteristics of strategy. So what are the characteristics of strategy? Even from the definition I gave you, we can be able to state 4 or 5 characteristics of strategy. So the characteristics of strategy, as you can see, is that strategy is one, it is complex. It's a lacuna task. The setting of strategy involves series of disagreements, agreements. It takes a lot of time. So strategy is complex. Strategy is full of uncertainties. No matter how robust, how beautiful our strategy, the unforeseen circumstances might prevent us from achieving our predicted strategic goals. So strategy is full of uncertainties. Two, strategy is costly. I don't know if you have feel that because there are so many things that we might not put. We can't put everything in the slide. So strategy is complex, strategy is full of uncertainty, strategy is costly, strategy is time bound. Anytime we say strategy is time bound, that means there is a stipulated time within which we want to achieve our strategic goal. Let's say, for instance, between 5 to 8 years. That's what we mean. Strategy is time bound. It has a time frame within which we want to achieve it. At the same time, strategy bind the entire organization into cohesive whole. That is point number D. Why I state that strategic decisions affect the organization as a whole. That means nobody is exempted. The strategic formulation of the company, once it has been formulated and ratified by the top management, then automatically it is binding on all the entire staff, including the top management, middle level staff, lower level staff, support staff. So strategy bind the entire organization into one. So again, in our definition, we said strategy involve allocation of resources. That is another characteristic of strategy. There is no way we can achieve our strategic goals without deployment of resources. So when they ask you what is another characteristic of strategy, then you said strategy involve allocation or deployment of resources. So please take note. These are some of the basic characteristics of strategy. And for exam purpose, it is not compulsory I can use the word characteristics. They can ask you what are the features of strategy. If they don't use the word features, they can use the word attributes of strategy. Or direct question, they ask what are the characteristics of strategy. Okay, I hope that is understood. Can I proceed further, please? I need response.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So next we move to levels of strategy. Levels of strategy. Very simple. In the next 3, 4, or 5 minutes, we do justice to this. So according to Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington, we have 3 levels of strategy. So the 3 levels of strategy that we have are corporate strategy level, business strategic level, and we have functional strategic level. These are the 3 levels of strategy: corporate level strategy, business level strategy, and functional strategic level. So the first one that we say is corporate level strategy. That one is handled by the senior management in the organization. They are the one that make major decisions on the type of business that the company is going to invest in. Even if they have invested in a particular line of business and they identify another opportunity or areas of diversification, it is this corporate level senior management, the board of directors and what have you, the CEO, that determine the investment decision and the kind of business that we are going to enter. So at the business level strategy, that one is majorly determined to know the kind of industry we participate. And that one might require the services of the functional managers too, the regional managers and what have you. While at the functional level, that one require the contributions and activities of the departments that we have in the organization and what we call SBU, Strategic Business Unit. So let's briefly look at all these 3 levels of strategy. The corporate level strategy is concerned with deciding which business or businesses that the company is going to invest in. And the corporate level strategy always focus on the management of the portfolio of investments of the company. That is what the corporate level strategy stands for. So they determine the resources, the targeted business, the investors that is going to be in the business. So once that one is done, at the corporate level too, they now decide to determine the purpose of the entity. What do we stand for? What is our mission and vision statement? that we are going to discuss later. Because it is very essential, the vision and mission statement. It's been a while that I can have set it, and we can say maybe probably this diet it might come out. If it comes out, it is very easy because I will simplify it for you today. You know it in this class and retain it by the special grace of God. So, at the corporate level, we determine the purpose of the entity. Once we determine our purpose and we know the industry we want to invest in, the next thing that we have to do at the corporate level is to ensure how can we match our limited resources. How can we effectively utilize our limited resources in the ever dynamic and turbulent business environment? Meaning that the business resources of the organization must be effectively utilized to cater for the internal and external business environment. So, in order for us to create value. So, what that number two is telling us is that matching the chosen business activities to the external environment of the need of the entity and to its available resources. Resources are not abundant. Those resources that we have, that resources, if not effectively utilized, then it can create a lot of problem for us. And that's the more reason why we have to upgrade on these resources. For instance, under this aspect now, when we are using a manual process of operation and our counterpart, which is our major rivals, competitors, they are automated their business activities, then automatically we are in a problem because they are going to have edge over us. And there is tendency they might capture all our customers through what we call switching behavior. So we must match our resources. We must upgrade on our resources. We must automate all our business activities and be innovative. Once we have done that, then the next thing that we have to do as number three basic thing is to see how we can satisfy the expectations of the owners of the business. Anytime we are saying the expectation of the owners of the owners of the business refers to the shareholders of the company. Our choosing strategy must be the one that will bring a landmark result, positive result. The strategy chosen by the company must bring about an increase in return on investment. The strategy that we should have is some of their expectations: return on investment, return on assets, competitiveness, innovation, customer satisfaction, reduced overhead expenses. These are some of their expectations. So we must ensure that the strategy that we implement must give us a positive result for us to be able to of the stakeholders too are being achieved. There are differences between shareholders and stakeholders. We are going to see that in this lecture. Shareholders are the owners of the business. Those people that invest heavily in the business, they are the founder of the business. While stakeholders are those people that have a stake interest in what the organizations are doing. Though I can tell you categorically that shareholders too are part of the stakeholders because they have a stake in that business. They have invested money and they are expecting positive results and sustainable growth. So we are going to discuss on shareholders and stakeholders very soon. So having a look at that, the expectation of the stakeholders I've told you, and the same thing with the expectation of the uh, stakeholders. The owner's expectations refers to the shareholders' expectations. High return on investment, sustainable growth, improved performance, increase in profitability. All these things are what we call owner's expectations. Continuity. But when it talks of stakeholders' expectations, the stakeholders comprises of the customers, our employees, the government, the host community, our lenders, the financial institutions. our society generally. All these people too have vested interests. They have expectations. Like for instance, now our staff, they are expecting job security and pay security. Our staff is expecting improvement in the working conditions. The staff as well, they are expecting uh, what we call avoidance of discrimination at work or unlawful termination of their employment, recognition of trade union. All these things are what we call stakeholders' expectations. So all these ones, they are embedded in a corporate level strategy. In a business level strategy now, let's quickly look at business level strategy. Our time is going. The business level strategy is also called competitive strategy. It is called competitive strategy. Why? Because it focuses on the business activities and strategy that the company can use to achieve their broad goals. The business level strategy focus on the contributions of each functional department to achievement of the company's broad goals. So that means under the business strategy, all the functional departments, ranging from the marketing department, uh, financial department, sales department, production department, supply chain department, engineering department, accounting department, all of them have major responsibility. They must contribute immensely towards the achievement of the broad goal of the company. And that is what the business strategy stands for. So, under the business strategy, we expect a company to ensure integration of all these functional strategy, synergy. All the departments must work together. Nobody must work in isolation of others. No company can work in a vacuum single-handedly and achieve the entire objective or goals of the company. So we must work together. So under the business strategy, it is advisable that company can use two major strategies to achieve positive results, according to Michael Porter. He said we can use cost leadership strategy or differentiation strategy. These two strategies that we mentioned, we are still going to come across it when we are discussing on generic strategies. So our Porter is advising corporate organizations, small and medium scale enterprises, serial entrepreneurs, multinational companies to use these two strategies. Porter is advising them that at the business level strategy, if you use cost leadership strategy, the cost leadership strategy will give you opportunity to reduce your total operational cost and sell at a lower cost in order for you to win more customers, sell more, and make more profit even than those companies that are selling at higher price. So anytime we are talking of cost leadership strategy, it is a strategy that companies that aim to sell at the lowest obtainable price in the market use. And for you to use cost leadership strategy, the company must ensure that they reduce their total operational cost. We must ensure that we have budgetary provision. You must ensure you limit wastages of resources so that our total cost of production will reduce. We can be able to sell at the lower price and make larger sales volume and profitability. At the same time, Michael Porter advised that companies can use differentiation strategy. By that differentiation strategy, he said we can differentiate our product offer and service delivery from that of other competitors. We can differentiate through our speed of service delivery, differentiate through our taste, differentiate through our brand positioning. So many things can be used to differentiate the company's offer from that of other competitors. When we differentiate our product, then it will increase the value of our service delivery and products from the customers. So the third level of strategy now is functional strategy. By functional strategy, we are saying that the functional strategy is an organizational plan that the company adopted to improve performance at different departmental level. The functional strategy are implemented to ensure that all the units and sections, the branches of the companies, all of them perform excellently toward achieving the corporate goals of the organization. And all these functional departments that we have mentioned, we have to give them all needed support. There should be allocation of resources to them, all gray areas, areas of challenges. So the top management have to support them. And that's the more reason why there should be an interlink and communication effectiveness towards ensuring that all major challenges will be brought to the attention of the uh, stakeholders, the board of directors, so that all those areas they're having challenges will be resolved amicably, so that nothing will hinder the performance at the top level, middle level, and particularly at the functional level. So having looked at that, we briefly look at the levels of planning. Levels of planning. The levels of planning is somehow synonymous to levels of strategy that we have just mentioned. In the level of planning, we have basically three levels of planning. We have strategic planning. So the strategic plan, they are long-time plan that involve determining the resources to be used, determining the goals to be achieved, determining the strategy that we are going to use to achieve those goals. That's what we call strategic plan. Long time. They are long time in nature. Tactical plans. The tactical plans are short term plans that ranges from 1 year and above. A typical example of the tactical plan is an annual budget. I put that as an example for you to know. But when we talk of operational plans, the operational plans are routine plans, weekly, daily, or monthly activities or plans or roles or responsibilities that companies perform. Those are things that we call operational plan. Like for instance, now to industrial firm, the operational plan is to transform on a daily basis raw materials into finished goods. So if that is understood, then we can now look at the approaches to strategic plan. The approaches to strategic planning too, we have three approaches to strategic planning that the syllabus mentions. So what we are doing now, we are looking at the elementary aspects of strategic management. Later, we are going to move in into uh, wider topics. But no matter how wide it is, since we have chosen the equity as a choice center, you are going to have value for your money. And I'm sure we are passing this course once. You are not repeating this course by special grace of God. So, what are the approaches to strategic planning? The approaches to strategic planning are basically three. We have rational approach, free-willing approach, and we have logical incremental approach. Those are the three approaches to strategic planning. So the rational planning, the first one, rational, the word rational planning, meaning that it is a holistic plan. It is a total plan that involves the top management, the middle level, and the lower level. So in the rational plan, it requires a very complex strategic approach. It requires at times about 60, 75, or 80% changes in the policy, goals, and strategy of the company. That is the reason why we call it rational, holistic, total changes in the company procedures. And anytime we are doing rational planning, it is essential that the company should do what we call position analysis or position audit. We compare our competitive position with that of other competitors. Are we really there? Are we getting closer to our goals? What are those things that we are doing that is better? What is our position in relation to other competitors? How can we improve on these our competitive positions? So rational planning too require making choice making about the choice of business, choice of strategy, review of strategy, restructuring, and repositioning. And it requires, above all, evaluation of strategic performance. That is what rational planning is all about. Rational planning. The second one is freewheeling, opportunistic model. The word freewheeling there is what you need. Under the freewheeling opportunism model or approach, that means we don't have any specific strategy in place to address whatever challenges that we have or the future goals. The company just choose any strategy that comes their way. And this is not good for any company that wants to achieve sustainable growth, survival, and competitiveness. But if we don't have any formal strategic approach, automatically we are just choosing any fire brigade approach, then it can backfire. It can retrogress the progress of the company and decline their performance. And this one can even bring what we call premature extinction from the business environment or industry. So the third one is logical incremental model or approach. The difference between the logical incremental model approach and rational is that the difference between them is that under the rational planning model, we do a sort of holistic major changes. But logical incremental model, the changes that we are making is minor changes. We are not doing any radical changes now. Even the changes that we are making here might be situational. It might be the challenges facing the company that will bring about the necessary changes we are going to make. Like for instance now, the sudden pronouncement of this present government when the president is being inaugurated into office that my government is removing fuel subsidy. That one can bring about a logical incremental approach to our strategic plan for us to know how we can be able to cope. Logical incremental model is brought about when a company decides to bring in the strategy of work at home to cushion against the increasing cost of transportation. And this strategy was effectively used in late 2020 and early 2021 when we had the sudden emergence of COVID-19. A lot of companies bring about a logical incremental strategic approach to see how they can survive during that turbulent period. So those are the three approaches to strategic management. We have rational model or approach, freewheeling model, and logical incremental approach. So permit me to move to another subtopic that we have as element of strategic management. Element of strategic management. This one comes out very well in exam. I can set it repeatedly. At times when they set it for a while, they might pause for about 2, 3 diets and bring it again. But it comes out regularly in exam. And anytime it comes out, they might ask you to discuss comprehensively on the element of strategic management. Or they will put the name of the scholar that you are seeing in our slide that according to Johnson and Scholes, JSW, Johnson, Scholes and Whittington, discuss on element of strategic management. It's very, very simple. It's very simple. So what are the elements of strategic management? There are three basic elements of strategic management according to Johnson, Scholes and Whittington. So the elements are: one, strategic position; two, strategic choice; and three, strategy into action. For it to be easier for you, that's the reason why I put strategy into action or strategic implementation. Because what the scholars is trying to say, strategy into action, is that once we do a position audit to know the position of the company, That is number one. Because that number one is telling your strategic position. What is our position to our rival? What is happening in our business environment? Two, what is the strategy that we want to use? We have decided that in number one. That strategy that we now adopted in number one, we now go to number two. That okay, of all these four strategies that we have identified that we want to use, which one should be our major strategy that we want to choose? What is our choice? By the time we make a choice, we go to number three, strategy into action. We put into action, we implement the strategy. And once we implement it, over time, we evaluate it if it's bringing results. That is just what element of strategic management implies. So I repeat, there are three elements of strategic management. One, strategic position, strategic choice, and strategy into action. So the number one is more or less a summary of what I just discussed with you not quite long. Strategic position require company to critically evaluate their competitive position with that of major competitors in the industry. This one will help us to know our liquidity position, our competitive position, our customer base. It will even help us to know whether we are the market leader, market follower, market challengers, or market niche. This is where you normally know it. I will repeat that again. In any competitive position, in any industry or market, we have four competitive positions. Namely, we have market leader position, market challengers position, market followers position, and market niche. And some people call the market niche position. NICHE. Can somebody tell me the four competitive positions that I mentioned now? Hello? Hello?
Okay, we have market leader position,
God
market
bless you.
followership position. I didn't get the remaining two, sir.
The first one is market leader position, market challenger position, market followers position, and market niche position. These are the four competitive positions that we have. So the company must analyze this to know where they fall in. Let me give you a typical example so that you can be able to retain it in exam, because they can ask you, you can come out anytime. And when you put this one under your explanation too, it will give you high mark. You can't see this anywhere, but in equity will give you the logic to earn high mark and win award. So the market leader position is occupied by the company that we call the front runner of the company, the major market leader that have the largest number of customers, make huge profit. Example, in the multinational company, the market leader is MTN, while the market challenger is Airtel. The market follower is Globalcom, while the market niche is Nine Mobile. Is it understood now? You can do that in other industry too. When you look at the Nigerian bottling company industry for non-alcoholic, all these carbonated drinks, the market leader, Coke, market challenger, Pepsi, market follower, Biggie, market niche, all this American cola. You get it? That's exactly what I'm saying. So once we analyze this position, then we have to look at the operational activities in the business environment, because our business environment comprises of opportunity and threats. That threat, we have to avoid it. We have to design strategy how we can cope, because the meaning of threat means crisis, turbulence, problems. So the business environment, we have to analyze is what are the challenges, what are the problems that can hinder our growth, what are the present challenges facing us, what are the likely future problems. The threat can come from the government Unfavorable government policy is a threat to our company. The threat can come from our competitors, because our competitor does not wish us success at all. They want us to leave the industry for them. And we have to, at the same time, look at the various opportunities that are bound in the business environment. Which one can we exploit? These opportunities that we discover, do we have the resources and competency and capability to utilize it? So all these things have to be determined. That is what we call analysis of the position of the company. So once we have done that, then what strategy can we use to overcome threats? What strategy can we use to exploit business opportunity? What strategy can we use to be successful in the business environment? We can have 1, 2, 3, 4 strategy that we have penciled down. We now go to the second element of strategy that we call strategy choice. So in the strategic choice, all we have to do is to make a choice of the best alternative. Out of the four strategies that we have, which one is the best that we can use? And in the strategic choice now, scholars, including Potter, now told us that when we are making our strategic choice, we can make a choice of strategy to operate at the corporate level. Something like diversification of investments. We can make a choice to operate at the business level. Or at the same time, we can even decide to use what we call developmental direction. That is strategic development strategy. That one is given by Igor Anson. Don't worry, we have a lot of things to do. We have started and we have started on a good note. And God will assist us. We make tremendous achievement by the special grace of God. So in our strategic choice now, so we operate at the corporate level by deciding on the business to invest in, investment to embark upon, and how the company can be successful. So at the business level too, what kind of strategy can we use to achieve results? Cost leadership strategy we have mentioned in the other time. Differentiation strategy can be used at this level too. Promotional strategy is very, very key at this place, at the business level. Customer relationship strategy, total quality management. All these things we have to ensure that they are integrated in our choosing strategy. The last one that we have as development direction, that was given by a scholar that we call Igor Ansov. We are still going to repeat this one as a topic. But under the overview of strategy, it was stated in the syllabus that we have to, first of all, introduce it. So what we call business development strategy. The business development strategy comprises of the strategy that you are seeing: market penetration strategy, market development strategy, product development strategy, and diversification strategy. These four are what we call business development strategy. And by that market development and market penetration, the first one means we put in place strategy that will give us opportunity to participate in existing market. Something like pricing strategy can be used, promotion can be used, effective branding can be used, use of marketing intermediaries. The marketing intermediaries can give us opportunity to penetrate existing saturated industry or market. The second development strategy is market development. By market development, we mean that creating more markets, taking our product to some markets where it is not known, increasing our geographical markets. If we have been selling in Tegbosho market, Ojuwe market, nothing stops us from taking our product to Aja market, Onisha market, Alaba market. Nothing stops us from increasing our branches and regional outlets. That's what we call market development. The third one is product development. We develop a new innovative product, differentiated product from that of competitors, so that we can gain competitive advantage, more profit, more sales, and sustainability. So while the last one is diversification strategy, we diversify our investment. We can diversify into related line or unrelated line. So we are doing justice to this as a topic on its own. So once all these things have been done, in our choice of strategy. So the last thing that we have is strategy into action to implement all the strategy that we have decided to use. Maybe market penetration, market development, product development, or diversification. We have to implement it using our available resources. In the course of implementing, we have to ensure that there is proper organization. You can see the second paragraph that there are three aspects to strategic implementation. For us to achieve results, we have to ensure there is proper organization of human and material resources, proper communication networking, so must be properly organized. We have to enable, what do we call enabling? All the necessary resources that we need must be made available, because this one will enable us to achieve our results. And at the same time, we have to make provision for change. When we are making our policy now, the government policy might be favorable, but by the time we are implementing it, the government policy might be unfavorable. So any strategy an individual or company made, there should be provisions for possible changes in the business environment or what have you. So having looked at that, we can now move to mission and vision statements. I hope what we have done is understood. Please, I need a response before proceeding here, please. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
it's understood. Thank you. God bless you. God will continue to enrich your knowledge. Okay, let's quickly look at mission statements.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Sorry for the
Good
interruption.
morning. No
Yes,
problem. No problem.
all
Yeah,
all you are saying is understood. I don't know for me. It's as if I don't know whether maybe you are rushing with time. It's as if you are going really a bit fast because I know we are not to take notes, but there are some points that, as you are lecturing, we may want to keep to understand. I'm really
Okay,
not able to keep
like
track.
what point and what point? And
Like,
well, I'm trying to stick to time. You are right. And secondly, maybe because it's our first class. You know, all these overview that I'm looking at in strategy, there are some things there that they are topic on its own. Like for instance, now that's a good observation, Aisha. I love that. Like a good example, like the business development strategy now that we just mentioned in the course of discussing on choice of strategy is a topic on its own. That topic is given by Igor Ansel. Igor Ansel stated that we have four basic business level strategy that we refer to as internal development strategy, market penetration strategy, market development strategy, product development strategy, and diversification strategy. You can see that when I get to diversification strategy, I don't really say much. I only inform you that company can diversify into related and unrelated diversification, because I knew that we are coming to it as a topic on its own. And that related diversification, there's a name we call it in strategy. Unrelated diversification, there's a name we call it in strategy. So I need not scare you at this uh, stage. And that's the more reason why I'm trying to bring this thing to your level and ensure a flow. But provided I'm a little bit faster, you can just call my attention the way you have stated it. I love that. Or if there's any
well,
area where you have missed, let me know.
okay, I noticed we are not using a slide because that will also help.
I shared the slide with you.
So
Are you not sending the slide?
we are sharing. Okay, for us using the phone, you have to be swapping between. There's this flow when you are seeing the charts and you are listening at the same time. But it's not on the. I don't know whether it's only me. Okay, I noticed somebody else also complained on the chat. So it's
Okay,
not on the
maybe
Zoom. It's separate. Mm.
it's not on
So
the
as you are
Zoom.
moving, even if you are fast, as you are sliding down, we too can also, and the points that we may not be able to, like now there's
Okay,
this market leadership, market follower. I didn't get the
yes.
third one. I just got the market niche. If
Market
the slide was there, I would have
NIC.
been, and I had to be distracted. I had to go back to find it, and I was not paying attention to what you were saying again.
Okay. Thank you for that observation. God bless you. Thank you. So can
Mm.
we proceed now? Hello?
Yep, yes, please, can I have the
Okay.
fourth one? I don't even know the topic of that one. Market leadership position, market
No,
follower, and
that
market niche.
one, market niche, NICHE.
No, I have the niche. The fourth one, after market leaders, market follower,
Market
then I don't,
challengers.
okay, market challenger.
Market challengers, yes. They
And
are
these
in
points
third
are,
position.
they are the what?
They are in third position. Market leader is number one in the market, the ruling company.
No, I understand
Market,
the
okay.
thing. I want to know what the topic, what are they, sir? These 4 points, what are they?
That's what
Because
we
you said
call
they
the
are fighters.
competitive market position. Competitive market position.
Competitive. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Competitive market position.
Thank you. I'm okay.
Okay, thank you. So let's
You're welcome,
proceed.
sir.
So we look at our mission statement. Mission statement. So the mission statement uh, is a public statement. Even when you read through the notes, just like your observation, the reason why I have that confidence to flow is that I know that some of you know better than me. Is because I know that some of you are learned and you can comprehend, and because of this overriding reason that I've assisted you in this slide, that you don't need to do much crisis in looking at the vital points you are going to put down. And that's the reason why I use ink. All those vital points that you have mentioned now, that are those key things that you need. You can see in the mission statement too, I've used blue ink to pencil some important key things about mission statement. If it's 3 or 4 out of these that you remember in exam, yeah, okay, you have passed already. If the mark is 5, you can get to 5 or get to 4 or 4.5. So that is exactly my reason for penciling all these things and moving a little bit fast. So what we call a mission statement is a formal and public statement that shows the intention of the company. So the word formal means that it is not something that is being said by any of the staff or something that is not objective. No, it is specifically said by the owners of the business. And right from the onset of the business, when they are about to start the business, they have to formulate the mission and vision statements.
Sorry,
So the very
sir.
reason why, hello, the very reason why I call
I sorry, sir. Asha also pinpointing if you are sharing something on your screen. Are you sharing your screen or just a totally black?
it's not black. Let me check again. I've shared it.
Because we never see anything, sir. Sorry, sir.
You don't see anything. The
Not
screen was
nothing,
shared.
sir.
Oh, let me quickly go back to that and check, please. Can you see it now, please?
Yes, sir. We can see it now.
You can see
Very
it now.
clear
We can
Maybe
now.
see it
from the
now.
onset.
Hmm.
God bless you. Anytime you notice that, just inform me, please, because your success is paramount, please. Thank you. So, we said the mission statement. Can you quickly go to the mission statement? I just scroll down. If you are there, let me know. So I'll be on the same page.
We are there.
Hello?
We can see it now.
You are there? Okay.
Mm.
Okay, God bless you. I said the mission statement refers to a formal and public statement. It is a formal statement because it is intentionally developed as one of the basic requirements for a corporate entity. And it is not being formed by any members of the company, no, particularly at the lower level or middle level. The mission statement is formulated by the owners of the company at the onset of the business. So prior to the commencement of the business activities, maybe before incorporation or after incorporation, the company will develop their vision and mission statement. So that makes to be formal. It's one of the basic requirements for a company entity. And at the same time, it is a public statement. When we say a public statement, it means that it is meant for the consumption of the entire public. It's not an hidden statement at all. Some company, by the time you enter the company like this, you will see it there. They will frame it. Our mission, our vision statement. Some will even put our core values. And that's the reason why I say it's a public statement. And it is always brief. So the mission statement comprises of the organization policy, scopes, procedures, and how they intend to impact on the general public positively. This mission statement that we are discussing about, it is fashioned out from the vision statement. That tells you that the vision statement comes first before the mission statement. So a mission statement, as you can see, discuss about the purpose of the organization and the reason for their existence. Discuss about the purpose of the organization and the reason for their existence. So it is in the mission statement that you are going to see the technology the company intends to use to achieve results and compete in the industry. This mission statement that we are talking about will tell us the scope of activities of the company, the nature of their business, their target customers, the technology they want to use, the resources they have at their disposal. So we have it in the mission statement. Apart from that, the mission statement comprises of the company philosophy, core values, and culture. And we use this mission statement to orientate all the staffs of the organization that comes in. Because whatever you are doing as a company, whatever you are doing as a staff, you must not do anything that against the broad vision and mission of the company. Anything that antagonize or anything that violate the vision and mission statement of the company is not acceptable. A lot of companies, even top management, get fired. They lose their job by involving in activities that negate the vision and mission statements of the company. So the mission statement comprises of the core values of the company, key philosophy, and it is fashioned out from what we call the vision statement. Above all, in exam condition, we must ensure that we tell the examiner this, that a mission statement answer the following question. It is not compulsory you put the 4 questions or 5 or 6. If it is 2 or 3 that you can recall, put it and go to the next problem that you want to solve. Because time management is part of the exam. A mission statement answer the following question. What is our business? It is in the mission statement that you are going to see what the business of the company stands for. It answers what is our business, what is our value to the customers, how can we create value to the customers, and what will be our business, what should our business be. These are some of the questions that the mission statement answers. So what are the basic features and characteristics of the mission statement? Some of the features of the mission statements are the following. 1, it is feasible and attainable. And let me remind you, at this point, I want to re-emphasize again. My style of lecture is such that it gives you opportunity to recall, it simplifies lectures to students. I'm saying this because in exam condition, when they ask you what are the features or characteristics or attributes of the mission statement, from the overview of mission statement that I'm giving you, from the definition of mission statement, you can bring the meaning of, you can bring 1, 2, 3 characteristics from it. For instance, when they ask you what are the features of the mission statement, Tell them a mission statement is a formal statement. I mentioned that in the beginning of the definition. It is a formal statement. 2, it is a public statement. Do you get it? It's comprised of the key philosophy of the company. 4, it is objective in nature. It is not subjective, it is objective. We cannot add the few things that I added again. That the mission statement is feasible and attainable, meaning that we must not set a mission that is too realistic, too difficult to be realized. We must not set ambiguous mission statement that we cannot achieve. Our mission statement must be realistic, must be attainable. Our mission statement too should be clear. It should give a clear direction, and it should be inspiring. It should be inspiring and unique. When we go to our head office, our branch in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Ghana, in Cordova, in Oshogbo, in Onitsha, we must have the same statement. Our mission statement must be unique. So having looked at that, we now look at vision statement. What do we call vision statement? A vision statement is equally a formal statement, and I will say it's a public statement too. Because some scholars have read some textbooks, even of recent, some are saying that a vision statement is an internal statement that is meant for the consumption of the staff and the top management. No. If it is a internal statement, then we will not have this statement being hanged in Alausa everywhere. If I tell you to partner and just go to Google, just put vision statement of First Bank, vision statement of Guaranteed Trust, vision statement of Nigerian Bottling Company, you will see it there. So vision statement is a formal statement too. It is an objective statement. And at the same time, this vision statement that we are talking about is futuristic. So that's the reason why we use the future tense. We intend to, it is futuristic in nature. So it is a formal statement that shows the deep intention of the company and how they intend to impact positively in the lives of their customers, clients, stakeholders, investors, and the general public. So the vision statement, you can see here in the last statement of the second paragraph that it describes how the company can achieve its mission and future. So the vision statement comes first in everything. Before we design the mission statement, the first one that will come first is our vision statement. So our vision statement is the blueprint. Let me summarize this for you now. Vision statement is the blueprint of the company. Vision statement is the destination of the company. Hope you are taking note. It is the destination of the company. Vision statement shows the future ambition of the company. And the vision statement, you can put it in place. Answer the question, where are we going? That is the reason why I said it is the future of the company. Vision statement answer the question, where are we going? So what are the basic characteristics of the vision statement? So the vision statement is a formal statement. It is an objective statement. It is futuristic. It is not ambiguous. And it's a rational statement. So there are so many things that we can talk about the vision statement. So because of the constraint of time, please let's look at the goals and objectives of the company. So all we have to say here is that under the goals and objectives of the goals of the company comprises of the broad uh, uh, objective that the company wants to achieve, both in the present and the future. So the goals of the company is always in line with the mission and vision of the company. So the goal of the company brings about the continuation and integration of the company activities to achieve predetermined objectives in the nearest future. And anytime we are setting the company goals, it is very, very essential that the goal that we are setting and the objective that we are setting must be precise. Our goals must be precise and measurable. And at the same time, our goals must focus on the critical aspects of issues that is facing the company or the company wants to achieve. So that number B is telling us that our goals must be critical. There should be in-depth analysis of all the major activities that the company wants to achieve. At the same time, our goals must be realistic and challenging. It must be enterprising, appealing. The goals must create a drive. That's what we call realistic and challenging. And the goals too must be specific. The goals of the company, the objective of the company should not be too broad. It must focus on specific objective to be achieved within limited time. We must take the time within which we want to achieve all these goals. And it must involve the deployment of both financial and non-financial resources. In line with the goals of the company is what we call the objective of the company. The objective are just specific goals that the company wants to achieve within certain period. The achievement of objective of the company is a collective responsibility across all the three levels in the organization: the top level, the middle level, and the lower level. But for our objective to be easily achieved, for it not to be ridiculous, because objective of the company too can be one of the areas of turbulence or threat for the company, particularly when the objective is set outside the framework of SMART. So as a result of that, our objective must fall within the framework of SMART. What do we call SMART? The objective must be specific. That one I will address the S. The objective must be measurable. The objective must be attainable. The objective must be realistic. That is R. And the objective must be time bound. It must have a time frame, maybe 1 to 2 years, 1 to 3 months, 1 to 4 months. So you must have a time, stipulated time within which you want to achieve the objective. If the objective does not fall within this SMART framework, then automatically there is going to be internal tension or disequilibrium. So what are the significance or importance of vision and mission statements? So that's another thing we have to take note. We title it here in class, importance of vision and mission statement. In exam condition, they can say, what are the significance of vision and mission statement? What are the benefits of vision and mission statement? What are the merits of vision and mission statement? So any words can be used for this. So the importance of mission and vision statements, let's look at 1, 2, or 3 out of this. So the major importance of vision and mission statement is that it brings about sense of identity and direction. Because when the vision and mission statement has been stated, then automatically it has bind us. It will create a path with the direction towards which we are moving to achieve our goals. The vision and mission statement too, what is another importance? It gives us organization culture or climate. It provides organization philosophy. Because my own company vision and mission statement is quite different from that of your own. So everybody must abide with this. It brings organization culture, philosophy, and climate. And it is the vision and mission statement that will shape our ethical values and standards in the organization. Another importance of the vision and mission statement is it creates a pathway towards achieving goals, objectives, and policy. That is number C. You can see it there that we call it that it provides a sense of direction. Sense of direction is the same thing as creating a pathway for achieving policy goals and objectives. So, another importance of vision and mission statement is that it brings about organization work structure, hierarchy of authority, organization structure, chain of command, delegation of duties. So all these are some of the uh, benefits derivable from vision and mission statements. So who decide mission goals and vision statements? So anytime they're asking you, what are those people that make decision on mission and vision statement? The decision on the mission and vision statement is decided by the top management, the board of directors, the senior management of the organizations. They are the ones that decide the vision and mission statements of the company. And this vision and mission statement of the company over time too can be reviewed. It can be reframed depending on the situational challenges facing the organization. Please, is there any question on this before we call our lecture a day for today, being the first class? So in our next class, we are going to discuss comprehensively on the shareholders uh, and other topics. So I need response. So what we have done today now, we have discussed on the overview of strategies. We discussed on the overview of strategy. So next, in fact, tomorrow, by tomorrow, most likely I'll be the one to anchor the CSME. What CSME tomorrow, 1 to 3? Hello, we have CSME tomorrow, 1 to 3. So by that 1 to 3 lecture tomorrow, now I'm going to discuss on stakeholders. Under the stakeholders that we are unable to discuss today, now we are going to discuss on the types of stakeholders, definition of stakeholders, the differences between stakeholders and shareholders. We are going to discuss on the stakeholders theory, and we are going to discuss on stakeholders mapping, which was developed by Mendelus. That stakeholders mapping is very, very key, essential in exam. And the drawing that we have there, we put the drawing there. So today, to cap it all, because of that, our slide that just skipped suddenly, we discussed on the definitions of strategy. There are so many definitions of strategy. When you look at this definition, we have discussed on the definition of Chandler, Johnson and School, Peter Drucker. Even when you read literatures, or maybe by the time we start revision, I will still give you some more definition of strategy, like the one given by Queen and Misbach. We have the definition of Queen and Misbach that stated that strategy is all about integration of the organization scope of activities into cohesive whole. So we have said strategy is all about integrating organization activities, allocation of resources to achieve future goals. And we re-emphasize that strategy is basically focused on setting long-time goals of the company to be achieved. That has been emphasized today. So we stated that strategy is the blueprint of the organization. Blueprints that all other organization policy objectives, goals revolve. So when we stated that the definition of Chandler is very, very key as far as this course is concerned, because I can ask it at all times. Anytime they're asking of definition, they specifically stated that the students are required to define strategy in accordance with Chandler. Chandler definition stated that strategy refers to the determination of the basic long-term goals and allocation of resources necessary to achieve the goals, and paying attention to the dynamism of the business environment, paying attention to the government policy, paying attention to the competitors' activities. That is very simple. So Peter Drucker definition 2 is saying that strategy comprises of patterns of activities that seek to achieve objectives and goals with adaptation of resources. So having a look at that, we discuss the essential ingredients that we must know about strategy as stated by Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington. They say strategy is long-term in direction. Strategy comprises of scope of activities. Strategy gives company competitive advantage. Apart from competitive advantage, the scholar stated that strategy involves adaptation of the company's product and services to dynamism in the business environment. In the number 5, it says strategy is unique. It's unique in all aspects. And in number 6, strategy is all about creating values and meeting expectations of the customers, shareholders, and the stakeholders. So we discussed on the characteristics of strategy, which I told you that strategy is a formal process. Strategy has a time frame. Strategy is complex. Strategy, it is relatively expensive. Strategy is uncertainty. Because when you put in place a good strategy, the tendency that that strategy will materialize is not certain. So the very reason why we say strategy at times does not guarantee organizational success. So strategy involves the resources. We must allocate resources. Part of the characteristics of strategy that we don't mention is that strategy involves top management commitment or involvement. If the top management is not involved, then automatically we cannot achieve anything. My learning students, we discussed about the level of strategy today. We stated that we have 3 levels of strategy: corporate level strategy, business level strategy, and functional level strategy. So apart from the corporate level, business level, and functional level strategy that we have discussed about, we equally discuss about the levels of planning. You can see the levels of planning. We discussed about the levels of planning. We stated that under the levels of planning, we have 3 levels of planning. Strategic planning, that one is a long-term plan. Strategic planning, long-term plan. We have tactical planning, short-term plan. And the last one is operational plan. You can call it operational plan or routine plan. That is weekly or monthly plans. That is operational plans. So having looked at that, we discussed about the approaches to strategic planning. And then under the approach to strategic planning, we inform ourselves that we have 3 approaches to strategic planning. We have rational planning model, that is rational approach. In the rational approach, I told you that it involves major changes, holistic changes. It requires analysis of our position with that of the competitors, making choice of strategy, see how we can implement the strategy and evaluate it to achieve results. That is rational planning. Free-wheeling planning, we don't have any formal specific planning that we are going to use. As the challenges comes, we just use any strategy that comes our way that we think it should be suitable for us to achieve our results. And I told you that this one is not good enough for company, not to talk of individual, not to have a formal strategic plan in place. We must have a formal strategic plan. We must have a contingency plan in place. And we said number 3, logical incremental planning. This one is a situational planning. As need arise, we put in place a strategic measure to address whatever challenges that we have with good and effective coordination and teamwork. That's what we call logical incremental planning. So after that one, we discuss on this important subtopic or topic that I told you that it comes out in exam. When we check past question, you see it. Element of strategic management. It comes out often, maybe because of the importance of this topic to organization. So the elements of strategic management are three. Namely, we have one, strategic position, strategic choices, and strategy into action. Those are the elements of strategic management. According to Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington, we have three elements: strategic position, strategic choice, and strategy into action. So the strategic position, we have discussed and do justice to that, that we said that the strategic position just require uh, analysis of the company position audit in the industry. What is our position as 7-Up bottling company to that of Coca-Cola? So what is our competitive position? Are we among the market leader? Do we fall in the second position, runner up, market challenger, or we are in third position in the industry, which is the market followers? Or we are still among the infant emerging company with lower market share and customers. Those are the market niche. So we have to look at our market position. We have to look at our business environment. But by the time we look at the business environment too, in line with our environment, we can be able to identify things that we can do, strategy that we can formulate for us to improve on our competitive position. And as God will have it, take note of that. If our company is in number one position, uneasy lies the head that wear the crown. To maintain
Okay.
that position is not easy at all. We have to ensure we put in place strategy to sustain that our competitive position. That's the reason why you see company engaging in a lot of promotional activities, using brand ambassadors and many more to ensure that they don't lose that their competitive positions. So having looked at the strategic position, we said all the identified strategies, we have to make a choice because it is not all the strategies that we identify that we are going to use. Make the best choice out of the strategies. And when we are making our best choice, we have to make a choice to know if you have to make the best choice to know if we are operating at the business level, corporate level, or developmental level. And at the developmental level that I told Miss Aisha, AC in Embryo, that the developmental strategy was developed by Igor Ansel, that we are still going to discuss on the developmental strategy later on. Because the developmental strategy comprises of 4 strategies, as you can see here. These are the 4 strategies of developmental strategy that we call internal strategy. We have market penetration. Market penetration means taking your existing product to existing market in order to increase your sales, number of customers, and make more profits. That is market penetration. So this one can be aided by promotion, selling at a reasonable price. Market development. Market development means taking our existing product to a new market where the product is unknown. So you can see existing market selling our existing product in new market. That is market development in order to increase our market coverage. But in the product development here, the product development involves developing new products entirely, innovative products. We have to develop a new innovative product. That is the product development. That product can be differentiated too. It will give us opportunity to sell more and make high profit. Why the last strategy is diversification, investing into a new line of business. The business that we are doing there can be related and at times can be unrelated. That is what we call diversification. And I told you that anytime you diversify into a related line of business, we call it concentric diversification. Concentric diversification. But if it's an unrelated line of business, we call it conglomerate diversification. For instance, now let me give you one example of concentric diversification. The diversification of Dangote flour into production of noodles is concentric. It is related. All because the company already they are producing flour and noodles, all these Indomie, spaghetti, they are byproduct of flour. So it is concentric, related diversification. This one will reduce business risks. We discuss on that. But it is conglomerate. We diversify into unrelated line of business. Like Dangote diversifying into refinery business is conglomerate diversification. So once we have decided on our strategy choice, then we implement it. But by the time we are implementing, please, we have to evaluate our strategy at all times to ensure areas of challenges and to know if we are still following the strategic blueprint. So strategic implementation require effective organization, change management, and structuring. So after that, we discuss about mission statement. And I told you that the mission statement was born by the vision statement. That the mission statement is a formal, you can see why the icon there is a formal and public statement. It's a formal and public statement that shows the blueprint of the company and deep intention to impact positively in the life of the society. So the mission statement shows how the company, it's a statement of how the company intends to serve their stakeholders. That's why we have a mission statement. So we have discussed on this that the mission statement comprises of the company philosophy, core values, and many more. And I told you that the mission statement answer the following questions. What is our business? What is our value to the customers? What will our business be? You can see all these things are futuristic. And that's the more reason why anytime we are talking of the characteristics of mission statement that we have now, one of the characteristics of mission statement is that it is futuristic. It is a formal statement. It's a public statement. It is inspiring. It is unique. In line with that, we discussed about the vision statement. That we said the vision statement is a public statement too. It's a formal statement. It is the destination of the company. It gets back to the mission statement. So the vision statement, it is what all major strategic decisions revolve. So and we said the vision statement answer the question, where are we going? So the characteristics of vision statement too, we have discussed it. And if you use the same characteristics of mission statement for vision statement, it is allowed. You get your mark. Nobody penalize you. You can quote me. They have the same characteristics. So we discussed about goals and objectives, and the rules guiding the goals and objectives we have discussed about it, that the goals and objectives of the company must fall under the framework of SMART, meaning that our goals and objectives must be specific, clearly stated, measurable, it should be attainable, it should be realistic, and time bound. So the importance of vision and mission statements we have discussed is that they provide a pathway through which the company operational activities will flow. It's formed the organizational climate or philosophy. So the vision and mission statement brings about commitment within and outside the organization. Another advantage that I don't put here, because we can't put everything here, is that the vision and mission statement attracts new investors. So Some of these advantages of vision and mission statements we have decided on it. And who decide mission and vision statement? We said it is the board of directors, the top management that decide on the vision and mission statement. It is not something that is being decided at the lower level. So thanks you so much for being part of today's lecture and choosing us as your choice of learning. God bless you all. Is there any question, please?